never walk this road, then you can talk shit. Gambling with my life, but I refuse to go for nonsense. This the life I chose, this all I know, ain't many options. About to tell the truth, I make the rules like I'm Fleece Johnson.
Hey, what's up? It's this Big Lee with Hustler Spirit. You know who I got in here with me today. What's up, Fleece?
Man, it is what it is.
I want to say like and subscribe, and please visit the website, www.hustlerspirit502.com. Get you some Fleece gear, get you some Hustler Spirit gear. Hey, Fleece, let me ask you a question from your point of view. I was talking to a buddy of mine about this, and we didn't see eye to eye on it, so I said I was going to ask you. How long should a woman wait for her man to get out of prison? What's a number you think is just doable or feasible or reality before she moves on?
Well, first of all, every man should know his woman. You know, a little about her, enough to know that you can set it. You know, in our prison system in Kentucky, we go from anywhere between 8 years on up. You tell your woman when she come on a visit, live your life, man. You know, I'm not gonna try to prevent you from living your life because I got locked up. You know, so it's open. You want to go out there and get you somebody, you can. You'll always be my girl, right? I'm always be cool with you. You know, I blame myself for this. And let her make that decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least she'll have more respect of you, you know, because, you know, you ain't tripping. You ain't on the phone talking about how you messing around on me. I don't want to hear about you being with another man. You tell her, man, if you a man, you got to face in responsibility when you in the street life, man. You out there hustling, man. True. What you get, you're going to share with her and whoever's in that family circle. But that ain't the point. You know, if you get busted and arrested, man, especially you got a girl that really don't want you out there doing nothing wrong. And you out there doing it anyway. And you get busted, you go to court, you get some time. You got to be a man about it. You got to be able to tell them, you know, I always love you, boo. You know, but you move on if you want to, you know, and just, you know, time to time, you know, you don't even have to write me every day or every week. Just when you know, if I'm on your mind or something, you know, you want to drop me something, you go ahead.
But aren't you giving up your support system at some point?
No, you don't. Well, you are you being a man. You're not trying to go petty. You know, you're gonna do it like a man. That's how we do it in Kentucky. You know, we try to do our time like a man, man. We tell our girls in a heartbeat, go on. You know, but in Kentucky, the girls will tell their man, I'm not going to have another man in this house. I promise you that. And she'll stick to that. But what usually happens, she'll go get a woman. See? And that's even worse, because when them dice get a hold of them, it's over. It's over. It ain't no getting her back, none of that. When they get their mouth on them, it's over, man, period. But men's in Louisville, man, we know if we hustlers and ballers, shot callers and all that, we know we can get out of prison, and we got a list of girls we can go to.
Where that list come from?
You know, we had a list before we even came to prison. You know, most people in the streets, man, they have more than one girl. They got to.
You've been gone for 10 years.
Well,
no, I ain't talking about you. I'm just saying that you've been gone for 10 years, and you think that list is gonna be worth something. It might not be worth all that.
You don't need, you know, that's just somebody you've been in contact with. You know why we locked up? We got other people we called and write. you know, and keep in contact with. And even without that, we know our hustling skills and our ability. We know we got the charisma and charm, and we got the game to get us a woman. I mean, that's, you know, when you get out of prison, you want to get straight first. You want to get yourself straight, get you some money, get you a car riding. Then, you know, all that other stuff going to come. Women. And you're going to run into some of the women that you used to mess with. And they going to be open. You're going to see the same girl, too. What's up, baby? How you doing? Yeah, it's been 5 years. What? Who you got somebody now? No, I was messing with somebody and all that. Yeah, well, what's up? Find out what she's into, what she's been doing first. Then if y'all want to hook back up, we can do this. Now, if you married, you gotta help your lady. Just like in our prison system in Kentucky, if you married, I go for parole. Let's say they give me 5 years deferment. Well, I don't tell her that. I come back and say, hey, baby, I got some good news. I didn't make parole, but they gave me 1 year. It ain't 5.
Knowing they done flopped you 5.
Yeah, they flopped me 5, but I'm gonna tell her they gave me 1. I'm building her hope up. And then after 1 year, I come up with this. They said they gave me parole, but they got to get it approved by the people in the state capture. Somebody said that they tell me it take 9 months. Okay, so when that 9 months,
Now she holding on for 9 more months.
yeah, and it's easier for her.
That's 2 years. Go ahead.
It's easier for I work it all the way out till we get to the last, right? And then I pop out and she stuck with. But when you know that you putting pressure on, if she ain't too strong of a woman and you love her, you don't want to see her go through no stuff because you got locked up. Live your life, man. I'm going to be all right in her. You know, I did this. And if you're a hustler, you'll make money from prison and send it to her. You know, I was making thousands. You know, it's big money in them prisons. Big money. If you're a gambler and you can gamble, you can get your bread in her. But, yeah, you don't be hard on your woman, man. How can you be hard on a woman and you did it? I get locked up. I look at her like, shit. How long she gonna wait? I ain't going through it. She don't have to wait. You know, and women, man, they respect you, man. When you do that, they know, yeah, they gonna be down for you, period.
But cheating the whole time, huh?
Nah, it ain't called cheating. It's called permission. You know, you got my permission to do your thing while I'm locked up. And if I see some good ass in here, I'm fucking it. You know, and so, you know, we'll meet up when I get out, right? We go do our checkups.
Hold on. You gonna tell her? You ain't gotta say the F word, but you gonna tell her you gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll bust some butt. If I see some good, I'll tell her straight up, look.
Well, she ain't gonna be waiting for you to tell her something like that.
Man, if she knows you, she knows you. What you telling her, she be like, hey, I would expect him to say nothing different, right? Niggas hard, right? I said, yeah, baby, go on out there and live your life, right? You know, if you want to. If you want to keep coming to see me, whenever you want to come and visit me, you know, do it at your convenience. Don't do it because I asked you to come, right? You know, you want to drop through and holler at me, go ahead.
But when you was doing your time, you was mad when people stopped coming to see you. Why would you give somebody permission?
Now, you back it up. When I went in prison, since I'm a child, 15, I turned 16 in her. And I was close to home. Like, I live in Louisville. And the prison I was in at first was like maybe
30 minutes.
30-minute drive.
Yeah.
You know, to get to see me. And I didn't get no visits. Yeah. as for my family, now as I grow older, as I grow older and knowledge into my mind, and I have understanding. My mama would say, I'm coming. I said, Mama, I don't want you to come see me. And she used to say, why? No. I said, because what if you get in a wreck on your way up here to see me? I wouldn't be able to live that down. And so I didn't want no visits. I said, just send me a letter, a card or something. I just, a greeting card. I got on that and stayed on that. I ain't want none. I was so bad one time in prison, and I ain't never told this story. When I'm fighting them guards, they took me on a visit. Waist chains, black box, leg shackles, with a spit bag over my head. I tried to see my father and my sister. I'm sitting out there like and everybody in the visiting room was looking over. Who the fuck is that? They was like, what's going on? Why they got him like that? Everybody in the visiting room nobody got handcuffs on. I got leg cuffs, a waist chains, a black box with arms on them, and a bag over my head. And
like an animal.
Yeah, I sit out there, my sister looked at me like they looked at Daddy like, and Daddy said, how you doing? I said, how y'all doing? I'm sitting there talking to them like I ain't got nothing over my head. He said, my sister said, this is too much. I can't watch this shit, right? I'm saying, it's crazy, man. In prison, but you got to be a man when you go to prison. You can't expect mama, people out here paying bills. You going to go to prison. And like I tell you, you get you a hustle. I can take $50 and make thousands in prison. Just send me $50 and I'll never ask for nothing else. And never will.
Unless you get busted.
Well, it ain't going to stop. Once you get rolling, you rolling in there. All you got to do is go in there, take $50 and turn it into store items that you loan out.
You were saying something about size matters, physical makeup matters when you first go in, because people won't, they'll come to you for protection, and it'd be different people come to you for protection.
A lot of people think when they go to prison, I ain't worried about nobody trying me, because he's big and bulky. Big old arms like that, like bootleg arms. Got arms like me. Big arms. Mm-hmm. And they think I'm safe. Size matter in prison because they look at big people as gladiators, monsters, fighters. But here's what it brings, though. You say, man, I ain't have to worry about none of that gay stuff coming to me because, everybody know I got hands and I'm big and bulky. What that size of brain, ain't nobody gonna ask you for booty, but booty will come to you for protection. You see what I'm saying? Because you so big and strong and powerful, you'll have people, mainly gay people, will be coming to you to pay you to protect them from big bulky guys like you. So you be thinking your size would keep gay people off your booty, and it will. But it'll bring booty to you.
So what you saying, big dudes don't try other big dudes in there?
Yeah, I've seen some fights, I try anybody, but I'm saying you got people in there where your size don't mean shit. I seen a little guy, a little white guy, walk in the gym, and take a horseshoe, and hit this black dude. I can't remember his name, and it stuck it right in his head and it ripped it. Laid his head over, his whole brain popped up out of it. And his brother was there, and they friends, and they didn't do nothing, they ran. And that little dude wasn't up about 5'4", and his name was Ray Cable. And he was so angry that when they found out that he was in our prison system, they sent a sheriff or something down there. They say this man is a serial killer. Say he done killed 19 people in so many states. And then here in Kentucky, they tied him into a murder and gave him a death sentence. And he's so nasty, he go on death row, and they get ready to set an execution date. He come out of his cell on death row. Now, all these people on death row come out together every day, shoot basketball and all this shit. He came out, shaved all the stuff off his face, his legs, his booty, and all that. Hey, boys, how y'all doing? They like, ooh, look, they put on death row a girl. Soon they went up in him. He went to the guards and told him he got raped. They took him to the hospital and got the semen of them guys out of him. Then he went and filed a lawsuit against the state. And in the lawsuit, the agreement was, take me off of death row. And he got off of death row and they dropped the lawsuit. All this, you see all this crazy stuff, man. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You know, a lot of your followers are fans, you call them. A lot of them are, gay. But you said it's certain rules to go by when you gay in prison. It's prison rules.
Yeah,
for gay relationships. What was you talking about?
First of all, you come off the street, you got a name. You a baller. You're a gangster in the street, out of the hood, all this. You in prison. You got a lot of time. Now, you tired of jacking off. You got some head a couple of times, but now you want some booty. You know, you want the real stuff. So, your rules, when you find a boy, you know.
Hold on. When you find a boy.
Let me explain that name, boy. Now, usually when you use the word, he's my boy, y'all think a child. That's just the name they give sissies in penitentiary. Boy, that's your boy. He can be 60 years old. And if that's your sissy, that's your boy.
A 60-year-old boy, huh?
Yeah, you say that's my boy. In other words, my wife. You know, so I won't get that worded. But and then you make sure when you get one, you say, look, you my girl. Whatever you want to be out here on the yard, you know, you go on out there and shoot your little basketball, play sports or with, other people and whatever. In my cell and in my arms, you my bitch. I don't want to see none of this. It's masculine bullshit.
Masculine.
Mm-hmm. You're going to shave your legs. You're going to keep that booty shaved. You're going to keep it cleaned and dushed. I don't want to walk around this cell, see no big nuts hanging and some dinglings, all that shit. I don't want to see your dingling. I don't want to see your big old nuts or none of that. You better cuff them, put them in a holster or something, right? I'll make you something to tie them up. And you take a bath once or twice a day. Keep your mouth clean. You don't mess with nobody else but me. And you do what I tell you. And I'm going to tell you some of the things I like. You know, I like head, I like booty, and I like to get my ass licked. You know, and I expect you to do all that. You know, and I like licking ass too. You know, shit like that, right? So, you set your rules down. So, and he got to be clean shaven every day. All his stuff got to be clean. His booty got to be dushed. When I'm saying dushed, I mean you can stick a finger in there, two of them, and wiggle it around and spread them, and ain't nothing coming out but booty juice. You know, it's clean. You know, and so...
So a lot of, so what you saying, a lot of, not all, but a lot of the men that don't have no face hair at all. Unless they're in a prison where they don't allow you to have it.
Now listen, that's our rules. The people that mess around, they say, look, if I'm going to mess around, at least I'm going to do it with somebody that got some sort of similarity to a woman. You know, he got something feminine. I'm not going to screw nobody, a big old bird or nothing. I mean, that's how it was at first. And they want one, they got a little waistline, like 22, 24 in the waist. You know, 36 or 8 in the hips and butt setting up on his back. Pump little booties and stuff, right? Nice. You know, and they don't want sisters with big dinglings. See, that's scary men. Because most men ain't got big old things, you know. And so you got in the bed, throw somebody laid back and his thing is touching his chest, you need to make a decision. A big one right there, buddy. And so when you do it for the first time, you want somebody that reminds you of a woman. And like I said, I had one that looked, he looked so much like a woman, but his voice was deep. I told him, don't talk.
Yeah,
I want nothing.
You told us about him.
Yeah. Hey, Fleece. I mean, boy, I just go out of it. But anyway, that's the thing in prison. That's the rules, right? And so you get you a boy, your girl. You come in the house. You want to hear nothing but women stuff. Hi, baby. How was your day? I was all right. I almost got in a fight today. Oh, you so tense. Sit down. And put their hands on you, start massaging your shoulder. Tell me what happened. Oh, no, nigga, try to act all stupid and stuff. I told him, you got one more time, boy. One time, nigga.
And as you turn to this man that got massaging your shoulder.
Nah, it's my girl.
It's a man, though.
Well, in that cell, I told him, in this cell, you my girl.
So you done tricked yourself.
Nah, ain't no trick shit. You better act like a woman and all that.
Now, what are you visualizing at that point?
That's my woman.
That's a man.
Nah. Hey, you know what? Hey, let me tell you something. So after all of that, you know, if he breaks some rules, you gotta get him. You gotta get smacked.
Oh, y'all beat him like men beat women.
No, not beat him up. Come on. Like, if I go on damn, you look good, baby. Start kissing. His breath stinking. I'm gonna smack his mouth. Dang, you know better than that. What have you been doing? Your breath smell like you ate somebody's goddamn nuts or something, right? Nah, baby, I ain't pow! Get over and clean your mouth out. Nigga, don't ever kiss me. I don't kiss you with a bad breath. You ain't gonna disrespect me like that. And it'll never happen again. And then all them kisses be juicy and shit. And then you get him down on the bed. Now, here's the point. How you gonna have sex with him? On his stomach? Or you want him like a real woman with his legs thrown back and you up in it? I just prefer it, but I like the legs throwed all the way back, right? While I'm in full control. You know, his thing is in it, right? And I'm talking to him. You know, that's tensing me up to make me, you know, get off better. Do you lay down on top of me? See, because I did it, and it kind of turned me off. My thing just went soft, right? I laid down on top of him, and I felt his thing on my stomach, almost reaching my chest. I said, this motherfucker's hard. I said, hold up. He said, what's wrong? Ooh, baby, what's wrong? I said, nigga. Nigga, I done killed you. You hear me? I said, get up, man. Get up, get up. Well, eventually, you know, you can take a pillow. You can take a pillow, put it over him, and lay on top of that pillow. But if he's big, you still feel that prick come up through that pillow sometimes, right? But, you know, the pillow make it better, and you ain't doing no more popping buns, man. But then, well, like me now, I can do it however. You know, I don't care about all that, as long as I get my. But the first time was true. Them is the rules you go by. But now, before I left that prison, they was doing anybody. I walked up on them. I seen two of them, and both of them looked like they was weighing in almost 300. And they was on top of each other, 60-90. And the funk that came out of that room, and I screamed because they had a little curtain up, and I peeked through there. I said, I'm tired of shit down. I said, get out! Oh, boy, they jumped up. Come out of your mouth, they looking around and shit. Look like birds, look like grizzly birds. I said, it's nasty. You know.
I know they wanted to kick your butt.
No, I wish they had tried.
You said you was talking about the treatment of gay lovers. What was you talking about?
Man, when you get you a girl in prison, that comes with responsibility. Cause other people in prison, they got money, and your boy, if he's bad, fine, everybody gonna be after him. So he got a decision who he want as a man, but I don't put claims on him. You know, you gonna be man's, right? And so, but I got a responsibility. When he become man, I gotta make sure he got everything he needs.
Oh, you got a trick bill come with him.
Man, no, it's treatment. That's responsibility treatment. That's how we do it in Kentucky. You know, we give them what they want. We don't have a boy we can't take care of. When I talk about take care of, I'm talking about buying TVs, buying PlayStation, buying coffee pots, buying whatever he needs. All the CDs, buying a typewriter, buying shoes, tennis shoes, the best brands.
What do you need a typewriter for?
People type in prison.
What, letters?
They type letters. Some of them go to college. You can go to college in prison. We need somebody to type because we use it when you do pen pal stuff. When you're ready to trick somebody out of some money, we need somebody to know how to type up something real legit, right? Mm-hmm. And have their own typewriter. And sometimes you do legal cases that comes in good. But you buy him everything. And then his money account got to be, keep bread on his account. Like, you come to you and say, hey, my mama told me she was having problems paying her bills. I said, well, we'll pay it. And I send about 1,000 or 2 on every week, whatever.
Just for this?
Yeah, for that booty. You gotta take care of your boy. So when I got out of prison, like I said, I was raised in her. And even though that my relationship was with men, when I got out of prison, that same treatment, I do ladies like that out of her. Whatever she want, she gets. You know. And so...
You got married in there.
Yeah, I got married in prison.
You said the vows was different than the regular vows. How were the vows different?
Like, in prison, like, I heard your vows is to death do us apart. In ours, till one of us fuck up. You know, that's the vow. Until you fuck up. You know, it's over. Ain't no death do us. When you fuck up, it's over. When we get tired of each other, it's over. That's your vow. You know, and you vow to be with each other against anybody in prison. You know, be able to fight. If somebody fight him, they're going to have to fight me. Guard, inmate, anybody. And you let that be known, right? So everybody,
no matter who it is.
No matter. There ain't no deaths coming. Guards, everybody. So your boy gonna get respect. He gonna walk in prison like a queen. And everybody gonna talk nice to him. You know, and try to do favors for him. All this shit, even the guards. Cause they know if they do something, make him cry, offend him, there's murder coming.
So that's the vows.
That's the vows. But when I get out here, and then in there, you know, your boy, he does stuff. Make sure your feet and stuff is nice, and make sure you relaxed, and all of this shit, your clothes and stuff is put up real neat and stuff, and make a little sketch. I heard try it with a woman. I said, hey, baby, you make me a sandwich? She said, make your own goddamn sandwich. See, we don't go for that shit in her. See, it's different from in her out here. Ladies out here, they'll talk back to you. I said, hey, do you put my shirts up? No, I ain't put your shirts up. You put them up. And
so what you saying, the boys act better than women?
Hell yeah. They know they got to. Because they trying to impersonate a woman. And they know they ain't. But by the impersonation, they know they gotta do some extra stuff that women don't do to make men really appreciate having them, you know.
So how do the other inmates respect? You know, I know you dealing with other men. How am I supposed to treat you? Because it's going to be hard for me to even respect you at that point.
Well, first of all, I didn't run in no gangs or nothing. And everything I did alone. I fought alone. I fought my own battles. You know, and so when I decided I'm in the game, a lot of my friends, they didn't like it.
Well, I mean, what would they say to you? How you know they didn't like it?
They told me, they say, Fleece, I know you're going to be your own man. You always have been, man. You my dog, man. And, man, I wish you wouldn't be off into this shit, man. This gay shit, man. I said, I understand, my brother. You know, I said, it's whatever with me, man. You know, none of you niggas got to speak to me, bro.
Because at that point, you didn't even know you was...
I said, none of y'all got to speak to me. I ain't asked no nigga in there to speak to me. You know, I said, I came in this world without you, can leave without you, right? I said, but y'all cool. Y'all my niggas, man. I mean, it is what it is. Hey, none of them left my side, bro. And business as usual. You know, but I didn't give a fuck, you know, and they know it. But other people, they go through it. You know, I guess if they thought they could beat me up, they probably would have. But I ain't losing no fights, man. I don't care what a nigga think of me. And a lot of people that voice their opinion about it, years later, they gay. Not only gay, but taking it. See? And I'm like, Colin. I said, man, a couple years ago, bro, I said, you was all up on me. He said, oh, man. I said, if I knew you could take something like what I saw come up out of you, I said, I'd have been here to see you. Come on, man, you my dog. No, you ain't my dog, nigga. Bitch. You know, I call them what they are. I seen him on the streets, too, with a bad woman. He said, yeah, he was in prison with me. He said, this is my woman. I said, how you doing? She had body on her. But he got one, too. Shit. His butt look better than her. She don't know.
Since you puffing that cigarette, I want to get into this. When you didn't have a cigarette in prison, how did you act?
Man, I tore that motherfucker up. Somebody gonna give me something. It's bad, man. When we had we was in a home and we were trying to figure out how to get cigarettes. And this little white dude named Luckyville out of Indiana. He said, Fleece Johnson. I said, yeah, Luckyville. Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break my finger and make him take me to outside the hospital. Because they don't know how to, do a broken thing in prison hospital. They take you outside. I said, yeah, all right. Man, he broke it. The guards took him out, took him over, and he came back with some cigarettes. Sure did.
Okay, that was one time.
That was one time. Then, another time, I came in with some cigarettes.
And that tube in your butt.
Yeah.
You talked about that.
But
it was sometimes you went without though.
Man, if I go without, I'm strapped down to a bed. That's how bad it gets. I would tear that prison up. I would tear it up till somebody give me something. And them guards would bring it. They'll bring it. Johnson, why you give me so? I said, you know why? I said, you know what? Y'all gonna strap me down? I said, but tell your wife you be smelling like shit tomorrow. Next thing I know, her. I brought you a pack of cigarettes. It didn't come from me. In the lighter. And I'm cool. When I'm cool, that's when I got everything I need. And see, they didn't know that.
So cigarettes, you cool?
Yeah. They took the cigarettes because in one of our Kentucky facilities, North Point, in 1999, inmates burnt that complex down. When I say burnt it down, you can Google it on Google, North Point 1999 fire, inmates. They'll show you the police cars, all that stuff. When they did that, they took the prison out of all the, smoking out of all the Kentucky prisons, in jails. And then they told the guards that they're not even allowed to bring cigarettes inside the prison. They got to leave them in their car. I ain't like that one, so everybody's turned to coffee. I said, man, I'm going to get me some cigarettes. I'm going to hell. And I got them. And that's what made me popular in our prison system. I always had cigarettes. Fleece Johnson got cigarettes, he got weed, and he got whiskey. And white boys, they love me. I was like a hero in my prison. That's why when you hear all this talked about me on the internet, nobody won't go to none of the Kentucky prisons or jails because I'm a hero. They don't want that seen. They don't want it heard. They don't want it known that, hey, I'm the one. Even though I picked up time, did 40, whatever, I rocked that place, bro. I'm talking about rocking it.
Before we get out of here,
I got songs I'm writing.
you got a rap song you're writing too. The power of a sissy in prison before we get out of here today.
Man, sissy got the power to send out assassins, killers. They ain't gonna want nothing. If you a sissy, you go into one of these Kentucky prisons as a sissy. If you even look halfway good, you gonna get half the prison gonna want you soon as they see you. Everybody gonna offer you money. You got a choice to look around and choose what guy you want. And you be like, for real?
Why you make it sound like the Kentucky prisons are just full of sissies, man?
Look, man, I only tell the truth.
You got other states thinking we just
I'm telling you the truth, and we got a lot of gays. I mean, look out there in the streets. See, here's what everybody is slow on. I was researching when I did paralegal work in prison. I researched a case came out of Pennsylvania. That case, it was a landmark decision. I was looking for a landmark case, and it said that in the Pennsylvania prison system, they got more rapes in the Pennsylvania prison system than in all the prison systems combined. So that's a whole lot of rape. And them people at the revolving door, they go out to the streets, more come in, and they all get raped. Pennsylvania got the worstest in the United States. And people, nowadays, everybody's seeing it.
You remember what prison that was?
I tell you what, I don't lie. Well, hold up. I can Google it right now and bet it come up. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Okay, watch this. Watch this. Let me get this right here. Get in here. Here you go. Pennsylvania prison system on rape. Okay.
Please like and subscribe.
Does Pennsylvania have the worst rapes in the prison system? They say rape. Does Pennsylvania have a bad rape thing in their prison system?
You've been better off typing it in.
They got some bad shit in there. I'm gonna Google it and get it down real good, huh?
All right. We appreciate y'all joining in with us today.
I gotta get all the facts.
And he's gonna research it, and we'll be back next week and give y'all the
But what I was saying, what the point I want to make is this. when I was growing up in Kentucky, you might see a gay person in drags maybe once every 2-3 years. They were hid. But nowadays, it's so many gay people, and I'm going to tell y'all the statistics again. 7 billion people in the world, 1 billion are gay. 1 billion worldwide. It takes, to show you how many people it is, the United States hold about 300-something million. So if there's 1 billion gay people worldwide, you can fill this country up 3 times with them. But I'm just saying, booty's more important than water.